obviously you decide what lighting kind of state you're going to do the scene in. Is it going to be sun or is it going to be cloud? And then you have to stick to that. Yeah. So you think, okay, let's do it in cloud. And the sun comes out for 12 hours. Yeah. And so we were sat there, and it was a rainy day, that's it. And Nara said, can't we make something where it's never raining? Yeah. And so Nick and I spitballed Paul. We just said, okay, there's two guys and they're in the desert somewhere and they find an alien, and the alien, they have to give him a lift back. And it was literally that, vague and
amazing,
obnoxious. And Nara, and then I drew a poster of it and said, here, Nara, we'd make this one day. And so, 7 years later,
that's great.
We said, let's make Paul, let's do it. So we wrote this script, which was, I think, a lot more edgy than what eventually became the movie. It was a lot more, we were dealing with a much, much bigger budget than we've ever dealt with before. Paul himself cost, I think, $20 million. Just the effect of, which was, is incredible, worth every penny. But
yeah, definitely.
So there was more kind of collaboration with certain powers, to make it more kind of friendlier, less out there, a little bit more kind of fun. And I'm very proud of Paul. Greg Mottola, who is a fantastic guy and a great director, was such a lovely person to work with. It has elements to it which I kind of would have done differently. Yeah. But I watched it the other night. It was on TV, and it just came on, as sometimes the case, and it just made me grin from ear to ear, because I remember what a fun time it was, and what an extraordinary experience making the film was.
Do you tend to have certain lines or scenes that you kind of can't wait for people to see? I remember at the premiere, Paul, the general eruption at the "Get Away From Her, you bitch" line. Number one, to get to film that and to get to do that with Sigourney and everything must have been amazing. But are there things I like that? And the record scene you mentioned there is a great one that you must have kind of known that that's gold there, and you kind of can't wait for. Oh yeah, you've got to see this bit in particular.
Yeah, in the writing process, I remember when we came up with the idea for Sigourney Weaver to play that part. Yeah. It was a man initially. It was just a kind of shadowy, who we didn't really have any idea who was going to play this sort of uber villain, and then Nick suddenly said, "Oh, what if it's a woman?" And then we both went, "What if it's Sigourney Weaver?" And so the whole thing about that line, "Get away from her, you bitch." It was one of those things. We can't, can we? Should we? Yeah. Will we? And
so
we wrote it in, and we gave it to. When we gave it to Sigourney to read, and she came back and said, "Yeah, I like it. I'll do it." We couldn't believe it. And that night, we were up on the ski basin in Santa Fe. They completely turfed a car park to look like the field where the ship lands. Yeah. And I remember her giving a line reading to Blythe Danner on how to say it, and telling us a story about how Jim Cameron had only given her one take. She'd only done one take of that, and she did it. She sort of went, no, and it's like, you sort of go up at the end, "Get away from her, you bitch." Like, so Nick and I were like, is this happening? This is insane.
That's so great.
She was so lovely.
This piece of fiction is the intro to Distraction Pieces. This piece of fiction is the intro to Distraction Pieces. This piece of fiction is the intro to Distraction Pieces.